Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So you're catching me in my catalog kickoff week. So every single day this week I will have a new project for you. And then next week it'll kind of slow down and I'll go back to my normal rotation of about 3 tutorials a week. But for today, I'm going to show you my club card. So for those of you that are in my card club, this is your first project. For those of you that are not, as we go along, I'll kind of explain to you what my card club is. If you need a catalog and you're in the US and you don't have one yet, and you don't have a demonstrator, just send me a message. I'm happy to send you your first copy at no charge. And then in the future, anybody who orders from me, they always get one at no charge. Later on, maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week, I will post not so much a catalog walkthrough, kind of a review maybe, and I will show you all of the cards that I have made over the last six-ish weeks, I can't talk, with the new catalog, and kind of show you, I won't have used everything yet, so I hesitate to tell you my very favorites because I won't have used everything. I have another order coming, overnighted one, 2-day another, but a lot of the stuff in the 2-day are things that I need for my try it class, but there are some things that I forgot to get in my first one, and then I have another one that will be my club things, and I will add a few more things to that. So I'm gonna still be getting new stuff as we go along, so I hate to say it will be my favorites. My favorites doesn't really come into play until we get to that last chance list. But this one I posted yesterday, and I already know that this is going to be one of my favorite suites because it's my style. The papers are fabulous, and I crammed a lot on this one card because it was my first card, and I did want to use a lot of the things that were in my box. So catch this video if you didn't see it, and you can see all of the stuff that's on it. Really, really, really pretty sweet. Right now, I have the Hues of Happiness online class that's open for registration that will take place. I'm going to mail it out the end of May because I have my Try It class that's going to mail before that. And then I think that this one will maybe be my June online class this sweet. But for today, we're going to talk Card Club. So if you're unfamiliar with Card Club, it's my subscription service. It's by far the least expensive thing that I do, but it's an automatic billing, so you get it every month, and so it's a little bit easier work for me, a little bit easier work for you, so that's why it's the lower cost. Every month, those in the Card Club get, and I hate to say every month, because some month I may switch it up, but pretty much every month you get, usually it's a half a pack of paper. This month it's the Butterfly Kisses, so this is a half a pack of that paper. It's a 6x6 paper, so I'll kind of show you. These are the designs. I had to put it back together because I only had one pack of it, and I had kind of, well, I've made the card for my Try It class, so it was pilfered through because in the Try It class card I've used lots of it. So you get, there's 4 sheets in a full pack, so you'll get 2 sheets of every one. So here's the one side, and in a lot of times, you know, I call the side and then the other side. I think in this pack there is another side, but because we're not using the Butterfly Kisses stamp set, isn't it bright and cheery? And then let's look at the other side. See, but because we're not using the Butterfly stamp set, we may use the other side. That's what I thought until I did today's card, and we ended up using a lot of that one. I guess I did not get 2 of them. It was hard to put this back together. Because like I said, I have this card, if you're in Try It, is super cute. And it wasn't what's in my mind, because this is one of the ones that, if you caught my unboxing video, I had made all of the Try It class cards with copy paper. Just kind of sketched them out and kind of hand drew what I thought the paper looked like. This isn't much at all what I thought it was going to be like, because the paper was cuter than I anticipated. So this month they're getting a half a pack of paper, then they're getting a full spool, and I should have opened this, of the Starry Sky metallic ribbon. And you know, this stuff is always subject to change. That's why I want to order it early. If anything would go into back order status, because then we can order it. Excuse me. And then a full pack of the Fun Flower resin shapes. Look how well they match. So they get that every month. Then they get the shipping's included. They get the supplies to make 6 cards. We do 3 designs, and so they make 2 of each. So they can do straight 6, the 6 ones that I just send, or they can do 3 one of each the way I send them, and then they can save the supplies because I sent alternates. And I'm going to show you one of the alternates that we're going to do. And then we have like a permanent alternate set. Right now it's color and contour, which is really nice because that goes with everything. Or they can watch the video, because I'll do a public tutorial. And with that one, this time I'm going to do Sunny Splash. And then we have the set that goes with the month. And this is optional. They can add it on, or they can find something that they already have that's similar. So this one is Full of Love. And the perk of being in the club is when they add this on, they just pay catalog price. I pick up the shipping and the tax for them, and then it just comes in their packet with all this. So they have the supplies then to make the 6 things. And then about every 2 to 3 months, depending on my schedule, we Zoom. And in those, I call them a mishmash. So in Zoom class, I may take the Full of Love stamp set, and I may take March's paper and April's embellishments and kind of mishmash them. So the things that they've accumulated along the way, we can make completely new projects with the stuff that they have left, because we're not going to use all this paper, and you're not going to use a whole spool of ribbon and all of your embellishments on 6 cards. So that's kind of fun when we do the mishmash. And if they can't make the Zoom, then I send them the pictures of it. So you do not need a die cut machine. It's $38 a month, and that includes everything. And then if die cuts are included on a card, then my husband cuts them all for you. So the card I'm going to do now does have some die cuts, and I'm going to show you where they came from. They came from the new designer tags. This is a little bit late in the month for them to find out their first project and to be able to buy their stamp set, but I wanted to use new stuff, and so I overnighted it so it could be here, and I'm filming it so they can see it. So it's all a little later than normal. You always have to be subscribed by the 10th to get that month's and have your set added, and then I always have it in the mail by the 26th. It's usually much earlier than that, but 26 is the latest I would ever have it. So this is where these 2 came from. They're missing from this. So, and then if anything is run through a folder, I do that for you as well. Now I haven't actually finished this card. So you would get 2 of all of this. So this would be your packet, and then you would have 2 of these. So you could do this one card, and then you could wait. So I'm going to show you the one, and then check back next week, because next week I will have redone the card again with Sunny Splash, and I'll show you how easy. And part of the reason I do this is not so they buy another stamp set, but to show them if they don't like this one, they can get this one, or just to show them if you don't want either of them, take something you already have and make it work. So I switch them up a little bit so that they'll already work. So for this one, I am going to we're using this, and I pulled out these 2 pieces of paper, and this is why I haven't done it, because I don't have very much of this paper left. What you see is pretty much what I have left because of my try it card, and the rest of the paper is all coming today or tomorrow. So I didn't want to cut this up and then not like the card. So we're gonna hope we like it, or else I'm gonna refilm. So I have these 2, and I kind of based my design off of this piece. And I wanted this tag, but it doesn't quite fit. The other thing is, when I send them tags, I don't want them to stamp on it and mess it up, because then they don't have the die cut to do it again. So I'm going to send a piece of white paper, just a piece of basic white, and then that way they can stamp on that. And if they mess it up, they can flip it over. And if they mess that up, then hopefully they have some basic white cardstock that they can find to do it again. So we'll stamp this on here. We'll do all our stamping first. So we have that. Isn't that adorable? It's just a happy set. Look how happy this is. Super easy. And then we're going to take our little tag, which I really like this tag, and I really like the way that it matches the flowers in the paper and the set. This is a standalone die set, but all of my words were too long for it because of that. So we're just going to there's 2 ways you can do it. You can get a piece of washi tape, a piece of Scotch tape, piece of sticky tape if you're in this southern hemisphere. My husband sometimes says that, and people are like, what's he talking about? I'm just going to be careful and just flip this upside down and just stamp the hello. The there is implied. We'll just do hello. You don't have to say there. I'm going to stamp this here. It doesn't matter if it's crooked, it's going to be dangling on a tag. It's pretty straight. Excuse me, allergies are so bad right now. Pollen everywhere, and I get up and I check the weather app and it says pollen high, pollen extremely high, pollen very, very, very high. Please, can it stop? So I'm going to take some Calypso Coral. Okay, now here's this paper, and then here's this little stamp set. You don't always have to have, like, I didn't even get the butterfly bundle is cute, but you can't buy everything at once. Not even me. Look how much they match that. These are the little flowers out of this stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp Calypso Coral. Now remember, we're going to put that envelope right over the top of this. So there's no point in stamping all in the middle because just going to cover it up. So mostly just go to the edges. And you probably need to do more than you think you need to do, because when you put the envelope on there, it's going to cover it up. It's got that. Now let's go back to this. Now you can color this in any way you want. I'm going to use blends just because I have the new in color blends. It doesn't. This doesn't have all the new in colors in it. And if you're in club and you want to know what colors you might want, just check the colors in the paper. But this has crushed curry. There isn't even a crushed curry blend, so I'm going to use So Saffron. First, I'm going to take my envelope, and I have light smoky slate. I'm just going to add some touches of smoky slate just to give this envelope a little bit of highlight. And then remember, we have the top of the envelope, like these flowers are in the envelope. So just to kind of highlight the envelope's still up there, just do that. And then I'm going to take my color lifter. It's the only time I'm going to use it. And just kind of blend that in. You don't want to put too much color lifter because it just keeps running, and if it's tempting to use too much because it's invisible. So just add a little bit in some of the places, and then if you need to go back, add a little bit more. It just gives a nice shadow effect. And then again, let's use this paper as our guide, because this is the piece that I chose. So now you could use, if you have the stamp pads, you could use the new markers, you could just get the new re-inkers, or like for this one, there's hardly any green on this. I am going to use this other piece too, but if you don't have the new green, this is the new parakeet, but you could use Granny Apple. It's close enough. But you could also use, I think this might be Night of Navy, but I went with Starry Sky. It looks pretty. It kind of brightens it up, but I'm fairly certain this is Night of Navy. I did not get the catalog and open it to see what the color is. And look, there aren't any even green leaves on this paper. So if you don't have the new green, that's okay. Just make your leaves Night of Navy. Because you're going to see in a minute that I have more flowers. I mean, I have more colors than there are flowers. So it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start with my dark. I just wanted to use this because it is a new color. I'm just going to add a swish of dark. This is going to color really quickly. A swish of the dark. And I'm just going to use my bullet tip and then just color that in. So we've got those. And then let's do this big flower here. I'm going to kind of go with this big flower here. So I'm going to do that in Calypso Coral. I'm going to draw straight lines over this. I'm going to keep the shading on this pretty minimal because this is all just block color. So you could, I mean, you don't even have to shade it all if you really want to match that. And then you might not be able to see it, but I can. In the center of this flower is the parakeet. I'm just going to take my parakeet right here. Just add that. Now these tiny little flowers right here are saffron. Again, we don't have a saffron, so our crushed curry, so I'm going to use saffron. I think there must be it must be tricky making yellow blends because we never have very many of them. And sometimes we get a new one and I'm like, oh yay, we have a new yellow. And then a year later it's gone. So it must be a hard color to work with. Okay, now see, we still have freesia, and then I'm using the starry, I can't remember the name of this, Starry Sky. And there's only one flower left. So if you want to make these navy or Starry Sky, feel free, because like I said, there's too many flowers. I'm gonna go with freesia. And I'm gonna do 2 of my flowers in freesia. Let's do this one. And I'm not doing anything at all special with the shading. It really doesn't even need to be shaded. And this one I'm gonna make the bottom be freesia, because on these, the bottoms of the flowers are mostly Night of Navy or Starry Sky. I'm fairly certain that it's Night of Navy, but my eyes haven't really learned to see the Starry Sky color yet, so maybe it is. I'm gonna do a little bit of dark Starry Sky. Just a little bit of highlight in here. And there we go. Isn't that adorable? And it matches perfectly. In fact, I'm gonna go back. I'll fast forward this, but I'm gonna make this flower a little bit darker. Okay, I added a little bit more of the dark calypso. I think it matches the paper a tiny bit better. Now, like I said, you can use your Wink of Stella. On an ink pad, you could use a blender pen on an ink pad. You can use your markers and scribble them on a styrofoam plate and use them with the blender pen. You can just straight up use markers because you're not trying to get a whole lot of shading on this. I'm just going to trim this out. Now with this, because you want to remember that the flowers are coming out of the top of the envelope, you do kind of want to get the flowers trimmed out. Sometimes like I would leave all of this, but see the envelope goes down to there. If you leave the white cardstock, then it's going to look like your envelope's up there. So just kind of go around them. It's really going to be this one right here that's the tricky one. Let's just kind of go in there, and then we'll need one of our tiny dimensionals to keep that kind of secure. But we want that to keep that illusion that those flowers are coming out of the top of the envelope. And then, because you can see the line of the envelope there. You don't want to go to all this work and then make it look like they're no longer in the envelope. And you can also, if you're in club and you want to use the other one, you can use the other one. Both of them will work on this. They both have very similar flowers, but the other one has the envelope from the outside with the little postage stamp on it, which is super cute too. Because I debated, I didn't know which one to use. So there we go. Now we have our little tag. So for this, I would like to send white cardstock in club because everybody has a different favorite color. And my preference for this would probably be the Calypso Coral, because I think that would be pretty. But I mean, the crushed curry, but I don't have that in a blend. So I'm gonna go parakeet and make my hello be really bright because I don't want it on white. I want this hello to stand out, and it's gonna kind of get lost on that. So just take your brush tip of your blend, because whatever blend color you have that in cardstock when you make little tags. This doesn't really work with the marker. You can do it with an ink pad and a Stella. It will have more lines in it. With the blend, it will look just like cardstock when you're finished. Because the blends in that alcohol ink have a really, they just seep into the paper and all those lines kind of disappear. And so now it looks like we just did it with whatever color of cardstock you wanted to use. Let's fold this in half. And then we need to decide, do we want our card to go up and down or this way? I think this way, because our tag over here, we gotta look prettier this way. and put ribbon this way. So first we'll go with this paper, and this paper, like you saw, is 6 by 6. So we want to cut it this way, 5 1/4, because the card is 5 1/2. So if we always start with this with 5 1/4, so trim that, and then keep this because we'll be able to use that on something else later because both sides of that are cute. And then this will be 4. Now, if you want to save more paper, you can do strips because some of this is going to get covered up in just a second. So you got that. Let's just do a little fun strip of this across the middle. So again, it's going to need to be 5 1/4. I think that, you know, we now have that 4 by 6 size. There wasn't any in this catalog, which I was kind of surprised. I shouldn't talk when I'm doing this. So this is 5 1/4. I think the 6 by 6, I feel like it's a leftover from when we used to do more scrapbooking stuff. Let's do, if it was just me, I would just make up a size. But since you guys in club need to know a size, I'm going to do 1 1/2 inch. Well, here, let's see. How big is this? We'll determine it by this. Let's do it from here. Let's do it the whole width. No, that's going to cover too much of our flower. So let's do this right here. And that is 2 if we do this. So let's do this. That'll look like a band. So that's 1 1/2 inches. So let's do it 1 1/2 inches. Across there. Sometimes I wish they would just go ahead and send us this the right size. Isn't that cute? So bright. Once we get all this on here. So that just makes it look like it has a little pop of color across that. I'm gonna do a faux one. So let's go ahead and tape this together. Nothing like working on the fly with you guys, and maybe I don't have any adhesive here. We're gonna have to go super strong because all of my adhesive is over where I am creating. If you're using super strong, you don't need very much, but it's all over where I'm making my try-it things. Because for those, when you're making a try-it class is mostly template cards, and I need to pull them apart so I can put the measurements on my PDF. Which Club currently doesn't come with any kind of a PDF. I'm going to start doing a picture PDF so they can put it with their packet. But it doesn't come with measurements or anything because you can write those down as you go along. Or you can, and remember we did it from corner to corner. And I only did it in the middle, so we'll be able to lift these up. I'm gonna pull this. And then I don't want to waste my ribbon, so I'm just going to add my super too strong adhesive right here. And that's way going to hold that there. And then we need enough here. It's probably going to stick to the table. But it's actually not a bad choice for this because it will make this work really well. Lift this back up. Put it here. Add some more super strong adhesive. Now if we get it on our card quickly, and we know that is going right here in the middle. Super cute. I am in love. Now let's take dimensionals. And don't worry, I know that you're thinking that's not a lot of ribbon. We're gonna remember we have this to tie on. I just love when I wing these cards. I was in my head. I wasn't quite sure how it was gonna work because it's kind of a large tag, and I wanted to be able to see all the paper, but I wanted to get all this stuff on here as well. So add this. And then we can decide how I might not need the ribbon on here. I might just stick it in there. Let's do that. So we're gonna have this on this side, which means we now need to balance out that side. So over here, take a piece of your ribbon, because this ribbon frays really pretty and it will make a bow, but it's really hard when you do these wraparounds to kind of get the bow to go where you want. So just attach your tag and then do your bow. It's much easier that way. And nobody knows. I know nobody knows because I get lots of messages from people saying, how did you do that? And it's like, well, I cheated. Make it look like it matches up. You don't want it up here, otherwise people will know that you cheated. And then tie it the direction that you want it to go. And just pull it that way. And then you have enough. And then this ribbon, if you just take the ends and kind of separate them out, it's kind of webby. So start up kind of near the knot and then work down, because you can cut off any that's too long. And then we have our super adorable. Now here, I'm gonna tell you one thing I'm not gonna do that I was gonna do was I had these out and I was gonna add a butterfly. I was gonna cut one of these out and add it on there. There's a lot going on here already. It doesn't need the butterfly. As cute as it would be, I'm not gonna do it because we still have these. And look how these are perfect. Like, look, I could add, what color do we want? Because they're all perfect. But these on here, and this, remember, this stamp set doesn't go with this paper. It does though, doesn't it? I'm really happy that I picked it because I had like five, I think, that I jotted down. And then in the end, I was like, you just have to pick one. I'm not gonna go with that color because I'm afraid they're gonna get lost. Or maybe I'll just do one of each. The nice thing about Club is that they have a full packet of these, so we don't need to feel like we're gonna use them up. So we're just gonna do 1, 2, 3. I know what I'm gonna do. Do a little yellow. And then let's get this big coral one here. I'm gonna put it right there so then you see it. Oh guys, I love this. So if you're interested in my card club, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put it down below the video, so scroll down there, and that's also where you can find out like my website information and all my specials and everything for the month. Join my email, because y'all will be getting an email. If you're in Club, you will have gotten an email before this goes out to the regular email. Super cute. So catch me back later this week for more catalog kickoff funness. Have a great one. Bye.